We're going live. Now you want to go pee-pee? I literally just went live, and now is when you want to go pee-pee. Go with Daddy. Donald will be right back. Court decided now is a good time to go pee-pee. That's what we call it in this house, the pee-pee. For people to hop on. Not a lot going on here anyway. Sure. There's that. I'm trying to get my guitar out. I moved furniture a little closer, so it's harder for me to get to my guitar. There we go. So we can listen to people's cats sing better than me. Hi, Dee. Hi, Zen Incense Shop, my friend. Donald will be right back. He is taking the dog out. And the dog hath returned. Hey, Susan, how are you? He was just getting the dog. As soon as I started the live, the dog's like, I want to go outside. So Donald is about to hop on. He's grabbing his phone. So good evening, everybody. It is Sunday. For most of you, it is the end of the weekend. For us, it is halfway through our weekend. You gonna get your charger? He's gonna get his charger. We are off tomorrow still, so we've got that going for us. I'll wait for a couple more people to hop in. My hair's a mess today. I didn't bother brushing it. I'm half expecting trolls tonight, so if my moderators can just be extra mindful. A couple of my friends got hit with trolls this week during their lives, so not saying I'm any special or anything, but I'm a part of that whole group, so we'll see what happens. I probably should share it around and stuff, but I hadn't done it yet. So how's everybody doing? Clearly nothing exciting has happened this week, right? Hope your heart thing went well. Yeah, I had another heart issue on... It was Sunday, wasn't it? Last Sunday? When my heart was doing the pings. Do you remember? When was my heart doing those weird pings?
I was at work.
You don't work on Sundays. Yeah. Maybe it was Monday. Dee might remember, but I had the weird heart issue this week that was I've never felt that before. All right. Sorry, I was posting it around that we were going to be live. So, but I have not felt it since. So there's that. We play cards with Dad on Sunday nights. And we were listening to 80s and 90s country music. And I tell you what, I need to learn some of that. That stuff was good. You would think they had better things to do than troll. No, sadly, I think there's probably a good number of people in the world that they have nothing better to do than to try to make other people miserable or sad. We had a troll last week in our live. He said, the music is awful. My cat sounds better or something. When I was singing, I was like, oh, if your cat can sing, I can market that for you. We can make some money. But we have theories as to who that was anyway, so it don't matter. Like the opinions, lions don't care about the opinions of sheep. Isn't he though? He is really cute. Look at him. He's a big baby. He's a rescue pup. We've had him for 7 years now. 7 years.
Too long?
Yeah. He is loud, but he's very cuddly and lovable. You want to come over here now?
No, he's
You want to be in the middle?
on that list, definitely.
Do I need to move stuff out of the way so you can be in the middle? I almost said the S word. You're so sweet. That's Court. We actually named him after a character in the movie Quick and the Dead, the Court show, right? If you've ever seen The Quick and the Dead with Sharon Stone and Leonardo DiCaprio, it's like a cheesy modern Western. It wasn't very good, like, as far as the cheese factor goes. I like the storyline, but the preacher from that movie, played by Russell Crowe, is what we named him after. Court. Good face.
I don't remember why.
I don't know. I think we were asking for names and we wanted something short and quirky. Hey, Mindful Hempstead. So Court was it was either that or someone was suggesting Pickles, but I don't know. He seems like a Court now. So
His name was Giggles at the SPCA.
Yeah, when we adopted him at the SPCA, his name was Giggles. So aside from the excitement of the obvious this weekend, did anybody
Court.
have anything outside of that was fun? What did we do? Did we do anything this weekend or this week?
No. Work.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird week. And I didn't go into the office much this week. No parents. We are butchering rabbits tomorrow. We have like 10 rabbits to butcher, so that's going to be the activity tomorrow, and working on the winter garden and digging up sweet potatoes, I think, is what we're planning to do. And that'll probably be our whole day, to be quite honest. We did a lot of cleaning today. I feel like it's not like I don't think it's like a winter blues thing, but I think with all of the health issues that I was having, that I just kind of went into like this, I don't know, apathetic mode over the last couple weeks. So things haven't been getting done around the house that I prefer, like keeping the house in order, and things, stuff just piles up on the dining room table or whatever. So I actually felt a little bit of a breakthrough today. I did a lot of cleaning in the kitchen, just like instead of 3 jars of honey sitting on the counter, I put it in the cabinet. Like everything's just clean now in the kitchen. And that was refreshing for me, and it's kind of motivated me to do more. So I think maybe it could have been a type of depression or just no energy because of my heart. So now that I'm seeing progress, it's making me feel pretty good. So I'm going to try to ride that high for a while. Mama Z, hello, and Papa Z, and to family. Let the party begin. We're not very exciting today, I'm afraid. I will say I wanted to show this off. We subscribe to a couple different channels that have the monthly, when you're a channel member, you pay a fee or whatever. Subscription. So we subscribe to Two Family. Stringfield, Broussard's, I think Stivers, the only 4 that we subscribe to, but not Two Family. Stringfield sent out this cute little card, and inside members, yes, we got they give us some seeds for our monthly thing, and this is the Black Sea Man tomato. I've never even heard of this tomato before, so I really like the dark purple tomatoes. Black Crim is my absolute favorite, and black cherry. So I'm excited to try this out because it's one of those dark purple ones that I like. I've never heard of it. So that's going to be something fun to try this year or next year. Aw, and she says, I love to hear you sing in the card. Sing like a cat. Black Crims. Honestly, I'm really disappointed in my garden this year. I don't think I got one black Crim. Our garden did so bad this year because we had the worst drought since 1999, which is part of, I think, what we're going to focus on next weekend is rain catchment. That's like our biggest hurdle. Like I don't even want to think about gardening until we get better rain catchment, because it's not going to matter if we can't water it, you know? So I think next weekend, that's what we're focusing on. I just wanted to do rabbits tomorrow and this weekend because it's warm out. And if I'm going to have my hands in guts and like liquid, then I'd rather it be when it's warmer out and not so my hands don't get too cold. So we're the Mr. Stripey. Meat Gardner is very much a staple in the homesteading community. Yes.
Gardner.
I know. I don't know why I say me Gardner.
Yeah, I don't know either.
He makes fun of me because I say me Gardner instead of am I Gardner. I mean, you could say me Gardner. Grow big or go home. Yeah. So, black crayons have to be every year. Black cherry have to be every year. Romas have to be every year because I make a lot of tomato sauce, but I definitely want to try these. Me Gardner.
What?
So another thing I wanted to mention, if anybody here has Prime, Amazon Prime, I started watching a show last night that absolutely enthralled me. And we're actually going to start watching it after the live tonight because he has never seen it and he's interested in seeing it. But it's called Victorian Farms. I don't know if anybody's ever watched this, but it's specifically about it's like three people that got together and they're, Victorian enthusiasts. I love the Victorian period. Like I'm obsessed. And they spend an entire year living and farming like the Victorians did in like the 1860s, mid 1800s. And this is like right at the start of the Industrial Revolution. So it shows you some of the equipment and the plows that they had back then, but everything, like they dress the part, they live the part. They live in it's this couple 100-acre, I think, farm in, I want to say Scotland. It's definitely over in like the UK area, but this farm has been in the family since like the 1200s. And they're very big Victorian enthusiasts. I think the owner, he's an older gentleman, probably in his 60s or 70s. He collects Victorian farm equipment. So this was where they're doing the location for this documentary or docuseries, whatever. And I've only seen 2 episodes, and we're going to watch it from the beginning tonight. But everything they do is fascinating, from how they preserved foods to what equipment they had available to I don't know if anybody here is Victorian, like understands or knows Victorian English stuff or not, but they had these rivers that like thousands and thousands of miles of rivers that they built and hand dug to make these rivers to bring boats through, like little skinny boats, but it was to bring like tons of coal to other parts of the country that otherwise they couldn't get it to, and things like that. They had showing how they used pig stomachs to cover the crocks that they stored like fruit chutneys in, because that was how they could preserve fruits. And they did tomato, it was their version of ketchup, but it was like a tomato relish, and how they preserved that, and the vinegars and stuff that they stored this stuff in. And I mean, it was just
Estuary.
It could have been like, yeah, these canals. But I mean, everything they're doing, from making apple cider. Like I didn't realize the better the apple cider that you could create, and it's like out the fermented, so it's like a hard cider. Whoever had the best cider is the one that had the best workers, because they shared their cider with the workers as they were working these orchards and stuff. So if you didn't have a good cider, then people were less likely to work for you. So that was an interesting tidbit that I didn't know.
According to Google, they just call it waterways.
Waterways?
Waterway maps.
Yeah, it could be.
The waterway boating maps.
And then they were going to bring in these pigs. And every animal that they bring in on this farm, the sheep, the horses, the pigs, are all breeds that were around in the Victorian era. So they had to build a place for the pigs to stay over the winter, and pigs are apparently divas. So they needed to stay warm, and they needed a good place to sleep. So what they did was they used this, and I didn't realize, because I've heard of this method before in modern times, I didn't realize this was a Victorian era type of construction, but they would take bottles and they'd line the floor with bottles, the entire floor. And they didn't use Victorian glass because that would have been way expensive because that's considered antique. They just used like regular wine bottles like we would get here. So they line the whole floor with bottles and then they cover it with concrete. And what that does is the air that's trapped in those bottles helps to keep the floor warm, like a geothermal style warming system for these pigs. And I'm like, I didn't know that was a big thing in the Victoria era, but apparently it was. Guess what I have been doing this evening finally? Are you making soap? Do I have to guess? Because I don't know. Anyway, it's called Victorian Farms. It's free on Prime if you have it. I think I've only seen 2 episodes and I absolutely love it and I've learned so much already. So I suggest watching it. I geeked out with him this morning. I was telling him about it for like at least half an hour, 45 minutes. And shut up. So it's worth watching. I'm definitely going to continue watching it.
He's a lovey-dovey tonight.
It's because you're petting him. Two family, I still got to get a mug from you. I got to pay you some shipping money and stuff for that. I want a Copper Kettle Farms mug. I'll tell you what, guys. I keep counting down the days until my shed is delivered for the home office, and it's taking so long. When is it going to be February? Right? I would be too. What else do we got going on this week? Anything?
Work.
We're not very exciting people. We work and we do stuff outside and then we work some more. I got to get some videos out. That was another thing I was telling Jason from Big Bear Homestead. Like, I want to put out videos. I've got plenty of cooking videos I want to do because we're doing a lot more homemade cooking right now because we're trying to lose weight. But my kitchen was not clean enough for me to want to cook in it, like, and film it. Like I've been cooking in it, but I've been putting it off because I'm like, well, I got dishes I got to finish here, and I got too much clutter, like the Instapot's here that doesn't need to be here, and so now that it's clean, I can finally film me doing some cooking. So that will probably happen this week. I've got an apple crisp I got to make, butternut squash soup, my homemade chili that's beanless. So it's a paleo chili. If you're into grainless eating at all, it's really good for that. I made the brisket. I did make the brisket. I know Mama Z asked me how it was. I'll let Donald tell you guys how it was. Is that all you're going to say? I slaved over that brisket.
And you get a thumbs up. It was delicious.
It's pretty good. I feel like, to me, brisket should be crispier than it was. Like on the outside, shouldn't it be like a little, like a burnt end type crispy? Or am I thinking?
If you like it that way.
I do like it that way.
Yeah, you like it burnt.
I like it burnt. Well, to me, I'm very anal about when I have people over my house, and when I do videos, it's like having you guys over my house. I want my house to be in what would probably look like lived in shape, but for me, it's extra clean. So right now I'm trying to prep for where I'm going to move stuff just to get the Christmas tree in here in a couple weeks. But and I got tagged in another collaboration from Fermented Homestead, and I still haven't even seen it yet. We've been busy. Work's been busy. Which is why I guess we don't have anyone over, right? Well, I haven't had anyone over at all this year. Usually I have like a group of people hang out once a month over here, and they're all not wanting to come over right now because of everything with COVID. So that's one thing I like about having people over once a month is it forces me to keep my house clean. We haven't had anybody over this year, so it has not forced me to keep this house clean, and I can tell. But we're changing that. I'm just saying. Oh yeah, I pointed in your direction.
Why are you putting me on the spot?
Because I can. Chris and I have very different opinions about what lived in versus clean. Yes. And Dad. Dad is our borderline hoarder. Donald doesn't care about belonging, so he's not worried about collecting things. I don't like clutter either at all, but I will collect books, and I want things to be, you know, in a place that it's supposed to be. But with Dad wanting to hoard things, it's hard for us. We can't throw things away, or he gets very upset because he's very attached to things. So we kind of just have to deal with it for now. The issue also is I like a clean house, and I don't think Donald really cares about that as much.
I like a clean house. It's just, I think they're different priority leveled.
Do you think the house is clean right now in this room?
No.
I don't either. So we should clean it. Right.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. What?
Nothing. Just
Okay. It's that generation your folks are like that? Yeah. Daryl still has the BMX bikes his kids rode, and they're in their 40s. No, you could sell those or give them to grandkids. What do we have that's like weirdly old?
everything.
My dad, like, we got weird stuff. I'm the only person I know that has a stuffed turkey in their living room. Like, who has, I mean, a big full-grown turkey in their living room stuffed? I don't know many people that have that. Deer heads, sure. We've got one of those too. But a turkey.
That collection of
Bottle openers. I mean, I can see people collecting weird shit like that, but to me, I don't need all that. Although I'll tell you what, I have not had an electric bottle opener or a can opener in like ever, because we've got so many antique ones. Like, we're going to be fine in an apocalyptic scenario where I need to open up bottles and cans, because I've got like 20 of them. You have your dad and he's weirdly old. Well, he is.
But we got like the old hand tools that don't work. And
yeah, I like collecting tools like that if they could still work. But if they don't, then no. Now, one cool thing I do have hanging up is when we dug up the garden where it's at now. There had never been a garden there before. And we are 2 doors down from a Confederate hospital from the Civil War. It's called Daniel Lady Farm, if you ever look it up. And when we dug up that garden, we found a horseshoe in there. And I guarantee you that's a horseshoe from the Civil War. So we've got that, and that's kind of cool. And we think, because where we're at, it's kind of flat, and then on each side of us, it kind of goes up, that this is where they probably encamped while the hospital was up on the hill. So there could be more horseshoes around here. We don't know. At least it wasn't a body. Right. Now, the floorboards for Daniel Lady Farm up the road apparently do still have the blood stains from the Civil War. So that's kind of cool. If you guys are ever visiting, like I know Dee says she wants to visit sometime, then look at that dog. Then we can take a little stroll up there and take a look at that stuff. And there's a couple cool things, like my grandmother's old washboard, you know, like I guess it's just called a washboard. I have it. It's hanging up on the wall as an antique, but that's something I would keep, because that technically could be useful in a economic meltdown scenario. So, but anyway, pill bottles can come in handy. I'll send him some. Yeah, there's a couple of pill bottles that I've held on to, but I've never used, like, with recent pill bottles, because I don't really take medicine until recently, but I'm never going to use it. I need to throw them out. I think for pill bottles, I was using them when you used to get the little cartridges of film. I would stick those in a pill bottle. Like either ones that I needed to develop or fresh ones that I hadn't used yet. But you can maybe keep earrings in them or something, rings maybe.
you keep like matches and stuff.
Matches, that would be good. put some matches in one of those pill bottles and then put that in your like bug out bag. My friend used to live in a house that butted up to the battlefield. As kids, they'd make noises out the bathroom window at the tour groups. Yeah, we, the last 2 weekends, they had this thing called Fright Night. And they'd make a cannon go off every hour. They had a lot of people like going through these like, mazes and things and ghost stories that you'd walk around. They do a lot of midnight ghost walks around here, by the way, if you're ever interested in that kind of thing. They dress up in the Pioneer clothes and then they walk you through with like the little lantern they hold. It's neat to see, but the cannons make court go crazy. And my chickens haven't been laying, and I think that's just going to extend the molting period because it's stressful for them. So it's not conducive to having a farm, for sure. Anyway, that's all we got going on. We're not very exciting. The goats are doing good. We did have one of our goats, Reggie, was starting to look a little sick with his he was getting diarrhea. And he's getting better. We think it's part of it was because the damn goats decided we had just filled up a trash can full of chicken feed. It wasn't full. It was like one bag, right?
Was what?
One bag of chicken feed in that container.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And they knocked it over and ate it all, which is not good for them. And when they have a bad diet day, like they get into something like that, that can cause the diarrhea. The stress of being in a new environment can cause the diarrhea. Worms, he could have had worms. But he's getting better, so. They do that stuff at the fort where the farm is at. It's hard on my grandmother. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not big on the cannons, to be honest. I remember when we first moved up here, it was just Dad and I, and we sat here one night, and I think we had like, sometimes Dad, and back in the day, we used to like to sit and just light candles and have the lights out and just enjoy like the space and the quiet. And we did that one night, and they were doing some kind of reenactment of the street where they were having cannons go off. And it's like, honestly, I could see this. Like, this is what the residents around here were doing. They were sitting in the dark with candles lit, and all you hear is just cannon fire around. And how crazy, or how that must have felt, and how scary that must have been. There was only one civilian that died during the battle here. Her name was Jenny Wade. They actually, she was baking bread, and like a stray bullet came and hit her and killed her. But her house is a museum downtown in Gettysburg. It's called the Jenny Wade House. But it's the only civilian.
And you can't go in there whenever you want. You have to make it.
You have to register an appointment or something. It was weird. Because we go across the streets like a Rita's Italian ice. So it's literally right downtown. So we went to get the ice cream, and then we're like, well, let's go check out the Jenny Wade House. We've not been there yet. Like, we've lived in Gettysburg for 12 years, and I had never been to a museum. In the majority of that, we went to one museum trip, 2 years ago, only because the Chamber of Commerce was having their monthly mixer there. And it was this thing called the Cyclorama.
That's probably longer away than that.
Might have been 3 or 4 years. Yeah. Anyway, it's called the Cyclorama. It's really cool.
It was pretty cool.
If you look it up on Google, Gettysburg Cyclorama, it's really neat. Apparently, it's a painting. And there's only 2 of them ever created. And this is probably like the early 1900s that these were created. And they traveled around a lot to different places, had owned it, but they finally got a copy of it, or got one of the copies of it. But it looks so realistic. You're in a room that's completely round, and they have like space between you and the painting where they actually have wagon wheels and sand and old Civil War clothes to make it look like you're on the battlefield. But it's just a painting of the entire scene of what it would look like if you were standing in the middle of the Civil War. And they go through the history of the figures that are painted on it, and it just looks so realistic.
Like the painter painted him in there.
Yeah. And you go up this escalator to the top, and it's like you're walking up into the top of this battlefield, and you just see the battlefield all around you in every direction. It was really cool. That's one I would check out if you ever come to Gettysburg. And that's probably the only museum we've been to. And it was only because it was my business is a member of the Chamber of Commerce, so we went there for the mixer. But
Did we go to that one across the street, Mr. G's?
No. What's one across?
Is it with
Stivers? Not Stivers.
that one?
What was that one called? Shoot. Starts with an S. No, but we should. And there's a diorama. I don't know what a diorama is, but there's a diorama. There's all kinds of just cool stuff here. We have a little castle on top of the hill on Little Round Top. And then there's Big Round Top. You'll probably have seen those in the movie Gettysburg and all of that. But Atkins Caramel Square. I want an Atkins Caramel Square.
The cyclorama is a diorama.
Okay, well, there's also a diorama. A different building downtown. It's near the Tommy's Pizza. Hey, White Flowers Homestead. Thank you for joining us. I'm trying to think what else is cool around here. I mean, in general, the battlefields are very pretty. You can do car tours. There's towers you can climb up in Gettysburg to see, you know, higher locations. There's one monument, and there's only one monument that I know of that's dedicated to both the north and the south side of the Civil War. And it's called the, what is it? Eternity Monument?
The Eternal?
Eternal Flame.
Yeah.
It's called the Eternal Flame. It's got a really cool quote at the bottom. I can't remember what it says. We drive by it all the time because that's where our mechanic is over there to fix our vehicles. But it's literally a flame that's lit all the time. It's an eternal flame, but it's the only monument that's dedicated to both the north and the south, which is kind of cool.
What would be the best RV campground? Would that the Gettysburg? That
Best RV park for visitors.
the one over there by your aunt does. Your aunt does.
Yeah, there's at least 3 that I know of that are pretty good. There's the Gettysburg Campground. The one that's literally right down the street from us is called the Drummer Boy. And it's really neat because it also has cabins and like a pool, and it's wooded. It's a little bit more of what I view a campground as, where some of these others, it's like commercial RV campground. Is there Battlefield Campground? Is that the other one?
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
I think they're both on our road. All 3 of these are on our road. It's just one's like way down the other side of Gettysburg, and then Drummer Boy's right down, like 2 doors down that way. So Drummer Boy I like because it's more wooded. The other ones are more like what you would expect in a commercial RV park. So depends on what kind you prefer, I guess. Gettysburg or Drummer Boys, I would look that up. Yeah. Yeah, both of them are pretty good. Little Round Top Campground, that's down 15 away. Is that one? I mean, they got people that do seasonal, like all year long over there. Of course, they do that at Drummer Boy too, I guess. You're never gonna. Oh, actually, which is the one that has the Bluegrass Festival? Is that Gettysburg Campground?
That's the one over there by.
I think so.
Yeah.
We've actually never camped at them.
Miles an hour.
Because we live here, but I've driven through Drummer Boy because my dog ran away. Not this dog, the one we had before him ran away, and I had to drive through that entire campground to try to find him. And it was pretty nice looking. The Biden, Gettysburg, or Drummer Boys, yeah. I'm trying to think, there's some really nice Airbnbs here too, like really old farmhouses. Battlefield Bed and Breakfast is really nice. You're going to find a lot of places that have the word battlefield in them here. Our local Harley Davidson's called Battlefield Harley Davidson. Mm-hmm. Battlefield Bed and Breakfast. Blue and Gray Grill, that's kind of a cool name. They got really good food. They're right on the square where my office is. So I really should learn more about Gettysburg if I'm living here for 12 years. Now, restaurants. If you guys want suggestions on restaurants, if you're ever here, the Irish pub here, there's 2 of them, but the one called the Gary Owen, the best food in town.
What's the other one?
O'Rourke's over by Rita's.
Yeah.
We should go there just to check it out. But Gary Owen's phenomenal.
Who is Smudge?
That's their dog.
Is that their dog?
They have a St. Bernard. Is he St. Bernard? We're going to visit Civil War history and have been reading history books with the family. Yeah, I really like Civil War history, but again, that's like that whole Victorian era that I just am fascinated with. Like, I love watching Little Women. I'm actually reading a book. I'm reading Little Women, but it's a book that I found. It's a copy from like 1930 or something. So it's got like that pressed print pages, and it's hard copy. It's kind of delicate. I don't know. I just like reading that. And then I found a couple books the other day. Oh, hey, Quebec Homestead. It's good seeing you. Thank you for stopping in. I love the thumbs up. My oldest book I found was, what was that one? From 1850 something?
Yeah.
I have a book from 1850. Apparently it's a boy's book on behavior or etiquette for little boys back in the 1800s and 1900s. And it was gifted to like my great uncle Ashby Groves in like 1905. It's written in there. So that's going to be a keepsake. And I don't know. I just really like old books. So, but the Farnsworth House is a really cool restaurant because they have a lot of memorabilia from the movie Gettysburg in it on display. And it's got like that old timey feel. It's an old haunted house. It's also a bed and breakfast. Like it's a Civil War house. You don't think you were with me for this. I did a tour of that house for another Chamber of Commerce event, and they did a really good ghost story up in the attic and in the basement. And then there's a place called the Dobbin House, which is our favorite.
That's a good
like as far as aesthetic, because in the basement is a restaurant that's like all stone wall, like old farmhouse, big, beautiful stone fireplace. It's lit by candlelight at your table. They brought a bar in that I want to say it was from an old, like a ship. Wasn't it from a ship or something? The wooden bar?
The bar was from a crossroads near Gettysburg.
Okay.
That during the Civil War.
But it's like the old wood from the Civil War.
They brought it from there into the Dobbin House and made it.
It's so pretty. I mean, that whole restaurant is what I want my house to look like in the basement. So anyway, I see Big Bear's in. Big Bear. Going green. Hello, hello. Thank you for stopping by, Quebec. I really appreciate it, girl. You know, I love you. Did I miss somebody else? I see going green. There are lots of ghosts in Savannah. In Savannah, Georgia.
In Savannah, Georgia.
What did he say on The Office when he was talking about Savannah accents?
It's like
molasses dripping out of your mouth. I don't know if that's accurate at all, but it sounded pretty good.
It's like molasses dripping out of your mouth.
Jason, you don't have a Georgia accent, bro. Are you born and raised Georgian or a transplant? Because Donald does not have a Texas accent at all.
Born Houston,
lived in Odessa.
Houston, Odessa, Dallas, Texarkana.
Yeah. He's been all over the state, but he sounds like you belong up here. It's fate. He's a transplant. Where are you originally from? I'm a Marylander, and I probably sound like a Marylander. And I'm only 10 miles over the Maryland border.
Wisconsin. I'm going to say Colorado.
Colorado. Are we taking guesses? All right, Big Bear. I'm going to guess.
I said Philly. Wow.
Are you serious? So you're Pennsylvanian, bruh. Hell, Robin was born in Baltimore. So you and I had a lot more in common than I originally thought then. I've actually never been to Philly. We've driven past it on the way to Atlantic City in New Jersey once for a gaming thing. But we plan to go because I like to visit and see things historical, like the Liberty Bell, where the Constitution was ratified, things like that. I just don't like the city part. I wouldn't mind trying city food, though. I bet you they got some good food there. See you, Bo Biden. Thank you for stopping by. The complete Civil War road trip guide, more than 500 sites from Gettysburg to Vicksburg.
That's what they're doing.
Oh, that's cool. At Mount Sinai. Oh, okay. Yeah, I grew up in a place called Westminster, Maryland, in Carroll County, which is basically just cows and corn in Maryland. Pretty much directly south of where I'm at now by about 30 minutes. Almost directly south, maybe southeast, because
Southeast.
south is more like Frederick, which is where he works.
Yeah. Southeast.
Sunny's place, hello. Hola. Phoenixville. Phoenixville sounds familiar, to be honest. But Donald's never been to Philly.
Never been. I think it sounds familiar because it's just a familiar sounding name.
You're a familiar sounding name.
Well, yeah.
I
don't know if that makes sense.
I don't know. I used to work for this business in Ocean City, Maryland, which is right on the shore. It's about 5 hours from here, southeast. And I did get to take Donald down there with me once because they paid for my hotel room. I would go down once a month. We would make a weekend out of it. And I did get him to get his feet in the Atlantic Ocean. So I got to get him to experience that.
First time in the ocean? First time eating octopus?
Yeah, octopus wasn't very good.
Nope.
It's too rubbery.
Well, someone was telling me that if you cook it too long, it's too rubbery.
Yeah, maybe ours wasn't cooked well. But if you can't chew it to be able to swallow it, then what's the point? So, honestly, Ocean City was great to be in October because everybody, all the summer sand kids and the beach kids were all gone. And a couple of the restaurants were still open. You had the beach to yourself. So that was nice. I think if I were to ever go to like Atlantic City or Ocean City, I'd go in like October because it's not too cold and nobody else is there.
Yeah, it was like 70-something degrees still in October.
It's nice.
Felt great.
Grandpa worked at the post office in Philly. Oh, nice.
I feel like he's yelling at us.
I think he is yelling at us. My grandfather worked at the damn post office
in Philly.
In Philly. What is? I've been to all these places you've talked about, but I went to Gettysburg when I was in high school with my parents. I remember going to Panorama Building, just feeling emotions. That might have been the same building I was talking about earlier. Yeah, that place was amazing. It can be very emotional when you think about the 500,000 casualties that were here in Gettysburg. I mean, that's a lot.
Was it 500,000? I
think it was 500,000. Or was it 50,000?
I think it's 50,000.
It was 50,000? I might be a zero off. Regardless, there's a lot of people. You'll Google it. Luckily, only the one civilian, as we were talking about. I can't imagine the amount of horses. Good night, Zen Incense Shop. The rear name runs deep in Philly. Yeah, the Groves name, I actually just discovered some more information about my Groves family. I hadn't had any information on Groves at all past my dad's grandfather. Nothing. I had all the other lines, my mom's lines, my grandmother on my dad's side's line, all that, but I found finally some information on the actual Groves, and I have a relative named Almond. I thought that was really cool.
So 620,000 died in the actual full Civil War.
Right, but how many?
But Gettysburg, between 46 and 51,000 were casualties.
Yeah, so 50,000 casualties.
Only about 7,000 fatalities.
Yeah. Still went to bow hunt in Valley Forge. That would be fun. I should start playing with my bow again just to get my arm strength up.
I want to bow hunt too.
Almond Groves, yeah. Isn't that weird? I was looking I was doing Ancestry.com and it was just a lot.
Thanks to Google, you're definitely getting a history lesson tonight.
Yeah. I want to crossbow hunt. Never owned a crossbow. We've always simply done rifle or shotgun. Like my grandfather, we inherited a single 12-gauge shotgun. That's what I always hunted with. My father uses a German Mauser that my great uncle, his uncle, got off a dead German in the war because my uncle and my grandfather both served and went overseas and fought in the World War II, that one. and the it was like really big and heavy. So my uncle actually like shaved it down so it was more suitable. But I mean, I forget what ammo it takes, but that thing's got some kick.
I want to say it was 8mm.
You can see the waves once it shoots, like the air moves. That's what my dad hunts with when he was hunting. So we inherited that. The DNA thing is really cool. I mean, I completely sympathize that, you know, people are worried about selling DNA, and it's entirely possible. But, you know, I think about all the things that they've already got on us, like even just having a smartphone. They're tracking everything you do anyway. I'm not going to get like special injections and cards in my skin or whatever, but the DNA thing, I mean, I'm not worried. I'm not doing any criminal activity, so I'm not that worried about it. But we learned a lot, and I connected with some relatives through that in Georgia, because actually a lot of my family is from Georgia, surprisingly. And that's actually when they came over from Germany or the UK, we're part of what's considered the German settlers. So my grandmother, my mom's side's from Montgomery, Alabama, met my grandfather, who his family was from Georgia. And he got stationed up in Maryland, and she followed him. And that's how they got established up here in Maryland.
I'm surprised they weren't a part of the Pennsylvania Dutch area.
I'm surprised too. Because my mom's side came from Georgia and Alabama, and then my dad's side is from like Virginia. Mostly Virginia, I think. So
I think my family was all from Virginia.
Yeah.
Or on mom's side.
Yeah, his dad's side's from Mississippi. And he's actually got more Native American in his bloodline than I do, I think, because of his dad.
So I got it in both lines.
Yeah. You got matched with a guy as a third cousin that I grew up with and graduated with, but never had any idea we were related. Now that's cool. There is some unfortunate parts of having DNA. One of our really good friends, Lewin, had no idea she was adopted until she did the DNA test. And it said her parent was somebody else. And then she talked to her adoptive parents about it. And they're like, oh, yeah, by the way, you're adopted.
I forgot to tell you.
How do you not tell somebody that? Like, seriously. So.
Oh, mutt.
That was very hard for her to deal with. I'm a mutt. Yeah, we're all mutts.
I thought you said I'm a nut.
She's a nut, too.
I think he's a nut.
He's a nut. Yeah, there's one thing I've learned. These people that talk about, and this is, I'm not trying to get political or anything, but the whole white supremacy thing. And I want to look at these people and I'm like, have you done a DNA test? Because I guarantee you, you're not. One, white's not a culture. And two, you're probably a mix like everybody else. You're a Buckeye now? Yeah. Yeah. Were you born in Ohio? I want to do it just to find out your bio day is dad. Court. Bro. Did he hit you in the nuts? He got him. Got him in the nuts. Hey. I didn't know you didn't know who your dad was, Jason. My mom's on there. I don't talk to my mom, but she's on there. She's my closest relative that they've discovered DNA wise. Court.
He's like, I recognize that look.
Yeah. Well, we could have a night where I tell you stories about my mom, but that would be, she would probably find it and be like, how dare you? I'm going to sue you. She's threatened me before. Hi, Brett. How are you feeling after your surgery? Born in New York, forced to move here against my will when I was 3. Yeah. And New York's a very pretty state. Court, come here. My dad was born in... My dad is actually the first of his siblings that was actually born in a hospital. The siblings prior to him were all born on the farm. That's good. I'm glad you're getting better. We've all been thinking about you.
Ow.
Oh,
God. So you gonna sing a song?
I could. I was waiting for CJM to hop in here.
Oh, he ain't coming.
Ugh. I see 2 more people have deleted me off of Facebook. I haven't even said anything political. Well, I did say something political earlier. But whatever. No politics here. You have an early day tomorrow. Good night. Thank you for stopping by. We're going to end it in about 10 minutes anyway. Watch for Black Friday sale for the DNA kits. Yes. I want to do, like, Ancestry.com has the general DNA thing where you can connect with people, but I also am interested in doing the 23andMe one because that helps go through the actual medical issues that you could genetically pass on or that you were genetically passed to.
And then it's the more expensive one.
It is the more expensive one, but
there's another one in there.
There's a couple.
Yeah.
I did the Ancestry one because it's the biggest one, and I'm more interested in the genealogy, although it probably would be nice to know. Yeah, I think they did eventually do some kind of medical thing with Ancestry too, which we could do. I wonder if you can like buy it and they still use your DNA to determine it. I don't know. We did one for you too, didn't we? DNA test, yeah. I forget what we found out. You were mostly Scottish and something.
I think so.
I'm mostly English and German and Scandinavian. Maybe a little bit of Russian too, apparently, which I had no idea about. But mostly English, like 50% English-Irish area, like 12% Irish specifically. And when I first did it, they said I was like 0.1% African. It's updated several times since then, so that's completely gone. But I thought that would have been interesting. Court, shut up. I'll sing a song while Donald's looking up his DNA.
Yeah.
Any requests? Something lazy maybe that I could do. Yeah, you and me, but well, I'd say you and me both, but literally I think most of mine is from Germany to England to like that area to Norway. I don't have any like Italian or Greek or anything considered Asian except for Eastern European, Russian, maybe. Nothing in Africa, nothing in South America. So
29% Scotland.
He's 29% Scottish.
24% England and Northwestern Europe. 20% Ireland.
So you have more Irish than me too.
15% Wales. 1% Indigenous Americas.
He is 1% Native American. And it's not like that's like specifically accurate to that percentage, but
7% Norway. 2% Germanic Europe. 2% Sweden. But I think my dad's side was like 2 generations here, and the rest were in Scotland.
we'll try to knock out one song before we have to hop on. Don't know any Tom Petty? No, I'd love to learn some Tom Petty though. And then I was thinking, do you guys know that song? It's by The Outfield. It's from the 80s called Your Love, I think. I was singing it earlier on Marco to people, but I kind of want to learn that song. And then I actually kind of want to learn some Alabama too. What was that Alabama song where you're like, you should learn to sing that?
The I Will something. I think it was I Wish I Wish.
No.
No, it wasn't. Okay.
You're thinking of the song that you want me to play.
I
know your game.
Is that what I'm thinking of?
It was a song by Alabama that came out in the 90s, like 1992 or something. And it was really good. I might learn to play that.
I'm in a Hurry?
Yeah, I'm in a Hurry. Do you guys remember that one? That was a good one. I'm in a hurry to get things done. Oh, I'm rushing to life's no fun. That one. I might learn that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Alabama was one of like, it's kind of, they got to be like one of the best bands that were together forever.
Well, see, now you got 3 people that love
Oh,
Alabama.
I don't know any Alabama songs.
Let me finish. What was I gonna say?
I don't know. I wish you'd freaking finish. If you're gonna play in Texas, you gotta have a fiddle in the band. Something, the guitar's hot. Something Louisiana man. And they had some good stuff.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. You should learn some Alabama.
If you've ever given blood, they already have your DNA. Yeah, there was that too. There is that. I give my blood once a month just to get my INR check for my blood thinners. Jim's In Town Gardening and Bella's Legacy Rabbitry. Now that is a long but awesome name. Welcome. Deep River Woman by Alabama and Lionel Richie. Ooh, that'd be a good song. I should learn some Alabama. They did a really cool song for Christmas. I don't know if you guys remember it with Christmas in Dixie. I thought that was really cool because they kind of like mentioned different places throughout America. And
that's what we forgot to do.
What?
Learn White House Road.
Oh yeah, I'm learning White House Road. D. Early in the morning when the sun does rise, laying in bed with bloodshot eyes. But I gotta work on it some more. Yeah. So we only play since we're getting to the end here.
I wish. I
played that last week.
I don't care. Oh. We'll do it this week, and then next week we'll play White House Road.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll have it ready by
You're
next
gonna have
week.
it ready by then.
Let's see. House of the Rising Sun. Now there's a different song.
Okay, fine.
To freaking play. Finally. I'm gonna butcher it, but I'm gonna play it.
Ugh. Do you need me to get the words?
No, I'm just gonna butcher it.
You're gonna butcher it? Okay. Let's butcher it.
See, I'm already butchering it. Oh, I love Abby. There is a house in New Orleans they call the Rising Sun. It's been the ruin of many a poor boy's God. I know I'm one. Mothers, tell your children not to do what I have done. You spend your life in sin and misery in the house of the rising sun. Father was a tailor. No, my mother was a tailor. She sewed my new blue jeans. My father was a gambling man down in New Orleans. I don't remember the words. find it.
Yeah.
There is a house in New Orleans they call Rising Sun. It's been the ruin of many a poor boy. God, I know I'm one. I think I skipped like half of the verses.
I think you did, but yeah,
Whatever.
you already called it.
We got through. I knew it. I knew I was going to butcher it. That has to be a Pit thing. Yeah, I think it is, honestly, because he is a cuddle bug and does not understand personal space at all. Love me. All right, we'll do I Wish, I Wish, and then we'll knock things out for the day. Let me think. I wish my baby was born and sitting on his papa's knee, and me, poor girl, were dead and gone. The green grass growing on my feet. I ain't ahead, no, never will be, till the sweet apple grows on a sour apple tree. But still I hope the time will come when you and I shall be as one. I wish my love had died and sent his soul to wander free. Then we might meet where ravens fly. Let our poor bodies rest in peace. The owl is a lonely bird. It chills my heart with dread and terror. There's someone's blood there on his wing. Someone's blood there on his feather. One cool fact I'm going to end this with for you guys that I discovered today. So Country Road, everybody freaking knows Country Road. I love playing Country Road. Everybody loves singing a Country Road. But did you know that not only did John Denver not write Country Road, the people that did write it, one, have never been to West Virginia. They were driving through Maryland when they wrote it. And two, they wrote it with the intention that Johnny Cash would sing it. They wrote it wanting Johnny Cash to sing it. Now, when John Denver heard it, I think Johnny Cash had him listen to it or something. You can actually find a video online of Johnny Cash and John Denver singing this song together. But John Denver heard it and says, I got to have it on the album. So, and honestly, when you hear the video of Johnny Cash and John Denver singing it together, like, obviously their voices are completely different, where John Denver is very smooth and it's got like that 80s hippie-ish vibe to it. And Johnny Cash was very like
rough.
Very rough. He wasn't the best singer, but he had so much grit to his voice that was needed at the time in the 50s and 60s when they were trying to get out of like the gospel bluegrassy type music. The rock and roll style is what they wanted. So I think I would have preferred John Denver's version anyway, because to me that song is like, it reminds me of John Boy Walton in a way, like how I would imagine him singing a song if he was a songwriter instead of a, you know, a story writer. So John Denver just has that voice of that young West Virginia boy that you would think. So to me, I just thought that was a really cool fact. I did not know that at all, that it was totally intended for Johnny Cash, but it's I think it turned out for the best. So anyway, we are at the top of our hour, and yeah, we'll see you guys next Sunday. We're on every Sunday at 9. I'm going to try, and that's 9 Eastern. I'm going to try to get
This is the way.
This is the way. Try to get some videos out this week, some cooking videos, and then I think yeah, tomorrow we're going to butcher rabbits. I will do a little bit of filming of that, but you know, we're probably going to avoid most of the gore aspects of it on our channel, just because we don't, one, I don't want people yelling at me for killing rabbits, and then 2, I don't know what YouTube's going to think about it anyway, so there's that. But your ex-brother-in-law was a dead ringer for John Denver. I love John Denver. I love him. Absolutely. So thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. We will see you next week. And don't forget, check out all my moderators' channels. Two Family does several lives throughout the week. Monday night interviews, Tuesday night tech, Thursday night interviewing your channels. I think it's Thursday night. Pretty sure. Big Bears on Saturdays, Broussard's Thursday nights at 9 o'clock my time Eastern. So check them all out. They're all great people. And then come back because we love you. And don't forget to thumbs up. So you guys take care. Peace. You got to hold it. Hold it.